going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call this thing. Today we have, well, not a whole lot to talk about. There's a couple forum topics I want to skim through today, which have some interesting stuff. Some not so crazy, but some a little bit more that might pique your curiosity. But first, we're going to be starting off with the blog that just came out. So I just saw this not even an hour or so ago, and I'm surprised because it didn't actually pop up in my whatchamacallit. See, like, you don't see the name of Here's to the Night in here. So I actually found it on my Facebook link to FinalFantasyCore.com, which I have following. So thanks to them, I was able to find this sooner and make this video. So enough of me rambling on. Let's get on straight into what you came here to watch in the first place, the new blog. So this is a post by Fernhales again, saying, "Here's to the night. Hello all, Fernhales here. Now that we've finished tidying up after Yoshi P's little smash session with the Hammer of the Gods, which was the last blog post that they did for the New Year's, I can finally bring you some screenshots from the new and improved beta version. So what you're about to see below is the first ever, far as I'm concerned, with the exclusion of the benchmark, these are the first screenshots you'll ever see of beta. So we'll get to them in 1 second. As many of you may recall from the alpha version walkthroughs released last month, we had yet to introduce the passing of time. So all the footage you saw took place in the day. Our programmers, however, have been busy at work behind the scenes, readying the realm for nightfall. And here's an exclusive first look, the knot in Old Gridania. And if we scroll down, you can see this is the first screenshot right here. So I was going to blow it up, but let me see if I can do it real quick without screwing up this whole thing. Here we go. Perfect. So this is actually, I think this is in front of, I think that's, yeah, that's the Carpenters Guild. I'm trying to, like, adjust because it's at night. I'm used to seeing, you know, the alpha version in day from the videos and stuff, but that looks like the market stands in Gridania that lead straight across to the Aetheryte and the Carpenters Guild. And that's what it looks like at night with all the lights on. It looks really nice. And if we go back over here, he goes, the moon in her different phases. Now here's the second one. And this one, that's the Leatherworkers Guild, because you can see the icon on the front there. And this one looks really, really, really nice because you have, like, the foreground with, like, some of the flowers in the bottom right corner, the trees, the sky looks really nice. You can't see all of the sky, and I'm still interested to see how the rest of it is going to look, because I remember at the beginning of 14, the sky was meh. Like, a lot of people didn't like nighttime in Eorzea. They wanted it to be day because they thought day looked a lot better, and I can agree with that for several reasons. But towards the end of 14, once they start doing all the crazy shit in the sky with, like, the frickin' comets, like, going across the sky, the shooting stars, and the fucking aurora borealis all over the place, the skies were freaking amazing. Like, they look really, really good at the end of 14. So after seeing all that, I really hope the skies in this game, from what little I can see, are better. Right now I can tell you the moon looks really nice. I think that moon actually looks better than the one we used to have. At least by that glance. It looks really nice, like the lighting of the buildings and everything. Just it's something about, like, the saturation and the overall image quality. It looks better than the nighttime in the old Eorzea. Maybe it's just a screenshot the way it is, or maybe it's just me, but I have to actually play it to know for sure and get a better opinion. But so far it looks really nice. So let's go to the third screenshot, unless of me talking, and we'll see what this one looks like. Alright, so here's the last one. This is in front of the Adventurers Guild, and we'll pull it up a little bit here. Okay, so the left is the big frickin' pond thing underneath the entrance of Gridania, and you can see, like, a bunch of trees and stuff in the background, the pathway that leads up to Gridania's Adventurer Guild, and there's the moon in a different phase. And you can see the sky a little bit better there. It does look really nice. I like the moon. The moon looks really cool up there too. But like I said, I have to actually get in game to see it for myself in motion. But yeah, it looks really good. I like it a lot. It's pretty cool we got to see it at nighttime finally, since the alpha was set permanently at like I think 11:30 or something a.m. because it was just like a clock standing still. It didn't actually move. It didn't have like a flow of time in the alpha, which they did on purpose. So for the beta, you can actually see it in all of its different cycles, which is really cool. So those are the 3 images right there that we got to look at. And he finishes up by saying, but while facing north by northeast at 2:45 a.m. while the moon is waning crescent, resulting in a 27% increase in your chances to synthesize high-quality mithril ingots. That is the real question. And that's Fern Hollis. Now, basically what he's saying here is there's this... In case nobody knows what the hell he's talking about in the wrap-up part, I'm sure people that played 14 already know what he means, but for people that don't know and haven't played the game, there's this whole thing that started with 11 where if you face a certain direction, like at night or day or whatever, depending on the moon phase, they always said the moon phase and the direction you're crafting in, or melding materia in 14's case, determines the percentage rate on your crafting outcome. And so there's people that thought it was bullshit, there's people that thought it was actually true. I kind of thought, like, what the hell? Might as well do it anyway, just for the fun of it. But there were some people that really did not believe it. Then there was one of my friends who, like, either half the time he believed in it because he would get, like, double and triple melds and all these crazy high qualities. And he'd be like, yeah, the moon works. You know, it's awesome. It's great. Got to do it on the moon phase. And then there's other times where he'd completely fail and fuck up. And he's like, oh, that shit doesn't make any sense. That's bullshit. That's not true. And then immediately he gets like another meld or something, like a double, triple. He's like, oh, the moon phases work. I totally always believed in it. So it's pretty funny how like how the community views the moon phases and all that crazy stuff. So that's what Fern Hollis is joking around about down there, like the certain times of moon phase and stuff. But I don't know. You guys can interpret and believe whatever you want. But that's just a little bit of history there for you guys in case you didn't know. Or a recap for people that did know. So that's the blog post. That's the one that came out today. Now, we're going to get that out of the way. And we're going to go to more of the little tidbits around the forum section, which are pretty cool. So here's the first one from Rikiri, the resident co-earl of the forums. So she says, spectators, I see you guys want to be able to spectate events such as raids. And what she's referring to is like instant raids and stuff like that, like Decimal Darkhold like we had, or Aram Vale, Cutter's Cry. And for people that aren't aware of what these are, and I mean, I'm sure maybe you've seen them in other MMOs if you're not familiar, but they're raids that you go in with like 4 to 8 people, and it's an instance, meaning only you and your party are in there, and nobody else can interact with you. So it's your, instance. Hence the word instance. So you go in there and you do a mission, blah, 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 you get loot. So that's what she's talking about. And people are asking, can we watch our Link Shell members do their runs so we can learn how to do them? So we don't have to go on YouTube and watch videos to learn how to do like a speed run or a certain trick or something that needs to be performed in the dungeon, or a certain way a boss has to be fought. So people were asking for like a spectator mode for that. And to finish up what she was saying was, while we are currently looking into making this possible for Coliseum events, which is PvP, is what she's referring to. So those that are not brawling can watch on and cheer. We do not have any plans to introduce this for battle content such as raids. The main reason is that we believe some players do not want to be watched by others as they play. And also there is a possibility that unwanted videos or screenshots crop up. So it's an interesting article. I like it. I read some of the posts down here after seeing the dev posts and all that and getting their feedback. Some people don't want to be watched, but if you go down the posts further, there's actually other people that bring up some really good points. I don't know if I can find one of the guys' posts, but there was this one guy that did this huge fucking response, and he actually brought up some really good points. I don't know where the hell his post is, but I'll try and recap on what it was. It was basically saying what I was saying a second ago. Is essentially, why don't you, instead of like looking at it from a negative perspective, why don't you look at it from a perspective of maybe random people can't watch you inside a dungeon, but maybe you can have a type of feature where your free company can watch other free company members perform exercises within dungeons, or you know, maybe they can teach other newer members how to run a dungeon so they don't have to go on YouTube or panic or something like they used to in the original dungeon. Because I remember times where we'd bring people in for relics or Darklight or any number of reasons, and they'd have to like watch a YouTube video. We'd have to like try and explain it to them. So I think having that option to have like a spectator mode and maybe not only just raids but like other content would be a cool little thing. I can totally see why people would think there'd be negative points with it, and I fully understand their views on why, but I don't know. I look at the positive more than the negative. Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, but I think it's a cool idea or a suggestion. So I hope they look back at it at some point in the future and reconsider, or look at ways to try and implement more spectating in the game, which would be pretty neat. So if you guys have any ideas or any comments or feelings on that topic, you know, comment. We'll share it in the comment section of the video, or go on the forum yourself and leave a comment. I'll link the all these forum topics that we're going to go through today in the bottom of the info box, or bottom of the video in the info box, so you can go straight to them and check them out for yourself. So that's the first one. Let's get straight to the other one. So Okipweet's here and goes, Beta Phase 3 character levels. With the beta test just around the corner, we wanted to give some details about how your 1.0 characters will be imported and how it will be affected by the level cap. And then he goes on to say, as many of you may have noticed, from Beta Phase 3 you will be able to import your 1.0 character data from the original 14 he's talking about. To clarify a bit on the level cap for these characters, if your character is already level above... excuse me. Got my tongue twisted there for a second. If your character is already above level 35, it will remain at that level, and you will not be able to level any further. So basically what he's saying is... well, let me finish up and I'll explain in a second. So he goes, for example, if you are 50, you will stay 50. Likewise, if you are level 36, you will remain at 36. In the case your level is less than 35, you will be able to level up to a maximum of 35. The more you know. So, let me just regurgitate for anybody that kind of got a little lost in that. Some people probably already understand immediately what he means, but for some people that don't, what he's saying is, if you played the original 14 and you have a character that isn't 50, if you want to play on that job that's not 50, it can't go any higher. It's impossible. However, since the beta is capped at 35, anyone below that can get to 35 on any other jobs, but they cannot go past 35. Anyone that's like level 36 or, you know, anything from 36 to 49 or 50, they can't level it any further. So anything above 35 in the beta during Phase 3, when you can use your old characters, it can't level up. So if it's 35, that's the max it's going. If it's 36, 38, 42, 44, 45, or 50, it stays that, and it does not level up any further. So that's what he's trying to say is, if you import your character and whatever your levels are above 35, they stay there. They can't move. You have an advantage over people that are capped at 35, but unless you're 50 like me or other people, then you can't level up any further. So that's what he's getting at. So just to clarify for people that were wondering. So for the next idea, let's start clearing these out so we have more room. This is probably a funny thread. This is less of an information thread and just a shout out to probably one of the best threads on the forums, in my opinion. I come on here regularly, and you're probably wondering what this is. This is a meme thread. This is specifically a Final Fantasy XIV meme thread that just takes a collection, a bunch of like Final Fantasy stuff, not just 14, like it does some other Final Fantasy stuff too. And It's pretty funny. Some are okay, but there's some that are really fucking hilarious. Like, I'm gonna link this one too. This one's hilarious. If no one's seen this, go on here. There's like over 100 fucking posts or pages or whatever, just solely on funny shit that people create. It's really good. So this one's making fun of Okipui, and he actually came on here, one of the fucking moderators or community rep guys, and he actually laughed at it. So it goes, how am I supposed to see Okipui's avatar? How I actually see it. And this person actually did a pretty good job. I like this one. So that's Keisuna's artwork or little meme right there. Is pretty good. And then Okipui comments on it. And there's tons of stuff in here. I mean, there's some really good shit. Some of them are like meh. Like they got a lot of fan cred stuff, which is cool. Some people are saying it's a little too much fan cred, but some people, they love fan cred. He's a pretty awesome character, as you can see. So I totally understand the fan cred phase. But yeah, you can see up here, there's like 151 fucking pages and just a retarded amount of comments. So like it's a really good thread. So I'd suggest checking it out and and having a good laugh if you haven't seen it already. So, like, this updates almost every day, so it's a constant growing thread. So I'll link that one in the description as well if you want to check that out. So back onto more information-based stuff. This is Kamate saying this, and this is basically, I don't even know what this is actually. Let me see what the thread is. Cannot log into forum because of inactivity. So we'll just go over this briefly. I don't think this is anything too crazy, so I'll just skim through this and see what this is. It goes, greetings everyone. First, let us apologize for the inconvenience that this caused those of you that were unable to log in. We appreciate you bringing this issue to our attention so we can move quickly to resolve it. Anyone that was affected should now be able to log in as normal. So I guess people were having trouble logging into the forums or something like that. I don't know if that had to do with beta or whatnot, but he goes, just as a side note, the current forums will continue to be used even after launch of A Realm Reborn, and we have no plans on closing them down. So what he's saying is these forums will stay active even when the new game comes online. Even though this forum is created specifically for the original Final Fantasy XIV, they're basically thinking about keeping them as an archive forum or converting them into the new forums, just redesigning like the web pages and making like the banner up top look a little bit more updated, I guess you can say, for A Realm Reborn, the new game. And they're just basically going to do a facelift of the whole forums, but they'll probably have like an archive section for all this stuff, and then they'll have a brand new section for all the new things. So that's what he's saying in here. I'll just finish up reading it so you can hear it. Let me see where I left off. Here we go. However, to match the design changes for Lodestone and other websites, there is a possibility that we change the design for the forums as well. We haven't decided how we will treat all of the posts made up until A Realm Reborn service begins, but there is a chance that we will make them a read-only archive. We will be sure to keep you updated on any changes. So basically what I was just telling you guys is what he's saying there. So that's interesting if you're actively using the forums or have any interest in them whatsoever, which a good amount of people do. So let's see what this thread is. This is the thread for binomial nomenclature and /tell target commands, whatever the that's a weird ass topic title. Holy shit. So anyway, Okipui comes in here. He goes, I don't know what the fuck this is, by the way. I just basically read it really fast and didn't even comprehend it. So I'm just going to read you what the dev said. It goes, greetings. Once again, sorry for the ogre bump. We understand that having two names can make sending /tells difficult at times. Therefore, when it comes to sending tells in A Realm Reborn, we are planning to have two different methods. Typing out the player's name, like you would in, I think you did that in Final Fantasy XI. It's been a while since I played that game. Maybe one of you guys can let me know. But in 14, you had to do /tell, and then you type the guy's name in, or you just did, I think it was Control R, some shit like that, and it automatically targeted it pulled up the last guy that / told you. So what he's saying is, to make it easier, what they're working on is if you have the party chat open and you see a guy that's in your party chat and you want to like click on him and immediately send him like a private message, that's what they're trying to do, where you could just click on his name and he automatically pulls up on your screen and you could just talk to him right away. You don't have to like type in a whole thing to start a conversation up privately with him. So that's what he's saying, and I'll finish up reading it again. He goes, therefore, when it comes to sending tells in a Realm Reborn, we're planning on having two different methods, typing out the player's name and a method that doesn't involve having to type their name. While things have yet to be finalized, we are looking into possibilities such as a feature where you can just click on the player's name in the chat log to send them a tell. Once we hear some more concrete information, we'll be sure to pass it along. So that's what the Ogre has to say on the matter of /telling. So that's what this thing was all about, I'm assuming. So let's skip through that one, and here's Rikiri with, oh, I know, I was reading this one the other day. This is about wallpapers and stuff for 14, so someone was asking, I'm guessing because in the summer event for 2011, I believe it was, for 14, there was a wallpaper generator, and it's not on my YouTube page anymore. I used to have it if you've been following me for a while. It was the one with the beach in the background with the Makote and the swimsuit. That's what they're referring to by wallpaper generator. During the summer event, if you got these summer halters, which are like swimsuits for your characters, you would unlock an ability to put your character in one of two poses in a custom screenshot. There was like 4 different screenshot backgrounds that you could choose from. One was like a beach, the other one was a forest with like all these festival shrines. And the other one was in city, and I forgot what the fourth one. I think there was 3 or 4, but those were the gist of it. And you could only use them for a limited amount of time. There was a special way they made them work. I don't know how the hell they did it, but someone was asking for it to come back again. And there's actually, I think there's 2. Oh no, that was the one post up there. Never mind. So anyway, Rikiri says having a wallpaper generator with the background, pose, and gear of your choice would be very tough for a number of reasons. But we are planning to implement events in the future that will use the past generators features, or the past generators features at the very least. So they're working on a way to make it where, I guess the person suggested from inspiration from the summer event to make it where you could use the generator anytime, not just during the summer events, where you could just have a preset generator that's always open 24/7, that you just pick whatever costume gear set that you want with a selection of poses and custom backgrounds, and have your name planted on the wallpaper also, with what server you're from, and it looked all pristine and nice, and that's basically what the person's asking for, I'm assuming. And Rikiru is basically saying that they don't have any plans, they know how to do it, but they don't know how to do it with the way the OP's asking for that started the thread. So that's kind of interesting for anybody that's into that. That would be pretty cool if they got that to work. So that's on the subject of custom generated wallpapers for your 14 character. Here's one from Leone, the Marlboro. He goes, greetings, and let's just check what this thread is, because I don't know what the fuck this is. Beta application questions and bug. Okay, so this is beta for any of you guys that are interested in the upcoming beta thingy mabobber. So he goes, greetings. For those of you that have registered your Final Fantasy XIII PS3 members code to your members account and forgotten it, well, you're in luck. The NA Square Enix members team has been working on a solution to such a problem. The members team has created a thread to request your previously registered code, and all you need to do is post in the thread, and the team will search the database with your account name and send you your code via direct message on the forum. And this is the link right here. Visit the thread and post on the Square Enix members forum. So this actually takes you right over here. Okay, so yeah, Square Enix, the official Square Enix site, and this is the sticky forum for Final Fantasy XIII members code request thread for 14, and there's a bunch of people on here already that have been thankful and getting their codes sent to them and all that stuff. So that's pretty neat. So this, if you're wondering about the PS3 and you have like a Final Fantasy XIII code, and I've got several people ask me about this too in messages, this thread will concern you. So I'll link this, and I'll link this page also attached to it underneath, so they go together. He goes, please note that this is for North American members members users, as the European code and beta registration flow is slightly different. So, yeah, just keep that in mind when you go here. So this is primarily for North American members like myself and other people I play with. So I don't know for Europeans and anybody in Germany or France or Japan. So you'll have to, I guess, go on your respected forums and see there and ask around, see what's up. So that's pretty cool for anyone that's, you know, concerned about the PS3 and your Final Fantasy XIII code if you used it already. So check that out. Okay, so we got another one from Leone on beta application questions. So it's the same exact thread. So someone asked him, this is Slitho, I think that's how you say his name, Slitho. He goes, nice, but if we already entered our code 3 years ago for the PS3 beta test, LOL, we are still good, right? No need to reapply. Can we get a rep to confirm this, please? So Leone comes in and goes, no need to worry. As per the message on the beta tester application site, if you applied to be a PlayStation 3 beta tester for the Final Fantasy XIV version 1.0 way back when, like we talked about in the previous videos, and were selected to test the Windows version instead, you need not apply again to test the PS3 version. Your original application will be reconsidered when we start selecting PS3 users. So I know I already went over this again in the last video or the one before that. I just wanted to go over it again officially with the dev actually responding on this. So, okay. Now Leone's here again in another thread. Cannot log into forum because of inactivity in Final Fantasy XIV 1.0. So this is another forum-related topic. So someone asks, it's Mori Andrio, I think that's how you say his name, thanks. But you guys really need a better support team because they've been answering with lockouts of the forums so they've been answering with lockouts of the forums are intended and won't be fixed till around Reborn release. Okay, so Leone comes there and he goes, we sincerely apologize for the inaccurate response that players were receiving regarding this issue and have been working closely with the support center to improve the situation as we go forward. So this is just about a big muck-up with the forums and trying to sign in after having an inactive account. So they're trying to work that out, so nothing too crazy. Here's Rikiri with response in the what's with the drought. I'm guessing this is with information on the game because people were bitching about there's not enough information circulating with the game and blah, 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 blah. So, as you can tell, I've been uploading almost every week a bunch of information on the game. So, yeah. Okay, so let's get to Rikiri's response. She goes, We know that you're all hungry for information and details about what lies in store for Realm Reborn, and we'll be posting up information before beta test officially kicks off. That said, we'll always be here on the forums to gather your specific questions and comments, and work with the development team to get new info passed along to you all. So Rikiri's just reassuring everybody that, you know, more information is going to come out around beta phase, right before it launches. And remember, don't forget, boys and girls, the official benchmark comes out before beta releases in mid-February. So I'd be looking at a late January or early February release of the official Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn benchmark for people to test out on their computers to see if it even fucking works on their rig with all this hype that they're going around about it being more flexible. So yeah, you have that to look forward to. You have the benchmark coming out before beta. You have the beta itself, and then you have a slew of other information, along with probably more blog posts and dev responses on the forums to look forward to that I'll provide with you guys if you keep tuned in. So that's what she's just basically saying there, and people are just, you know, whining or arguing, blah, blah, blah. The usual. So that's that thread. Now, Rikiri's here again with another one in the... Oh, it's the same fucking thread. Look at that. There's Dr. Mog up there. If anyone is familiar with his videos, saw his forum username. Anyway, Rikiri says, in the letter from the producer live part 4, it was said that the first benchmark will be released around beta timing. Zantetsuken has it right. And then they just quote, she requotes Guildrain on, I'm guessing this is a video or something here. I'm too lazy to click it. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's a question and answer. Are there plans to release a benchmark? If so, when? We are planning to have 2. The first one will be for beta to see how well your PC can run it, which is the one I just told you guys a second ago. And then there's another one. The second one will be right before launch, and it will include character creation with all races. And that one, they said, if you create a character in that beta character creation, playful mode thingy, whatever the fuck it is, you can actually save your character and bring it to the actual version of the game if you like that character. So basically, you've created a character in the beta thing, you can bring it to beta, and I think you can bring it to the official game itself, they were saying. So I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but I remember them saying that in a dev response a couple months back, or several months back, actually. So just a little bit of tidbit for you guys. I didn't know that. Okay, so Leone has another response for the SLI crossfire scaling in A Realm Reborn. We talked about this in a previous video, if you guys remember. He comes back and he responds with, just a heads up that the team is currently optimizing SLI settings and will announce once it has been finalized. So while the option for SLI will exist in the beta test, we ask that you keep this graphical setting turned off. Additionally, we will also be looking into AMD dual graphics to possibly support this in the future. So that's a pretty cool, that's a pretty cool response, I guess, if you're into that. And, pretty graphic image, too, of, something being really fucking torn apart. Wow. So I'll link this thread, too, if you guys want to breeze through this one. I liked it previously, but I'll link it again just for shits and giggles. Alright, so we're coming up close to the end. We got 2 more posts left. So here's Okipweet again on link shell management in 2.0. Okay, so this is some meaty stuff we're getting into now. So Okipweet says, good evening. We know the lack of administration features for link shells was a major concern in version 1.0, which it was. It was fucking awful. And it still was never changed up until the end of the game. But I'll get into that after I finish reading the post, because I have a little bit to say about that. He goes, in A Realm Reborn, link shells will focus mostly on being ways to chat with friends, and free companies will have features that players have been requesting for link shells. So all the stuff that people have been asking for link shells to be added to improve it will be in the free companies, while link shells will just basically be chat rooms, I guess. So that's putting in perspective for people that are wondering how it's going to be. So he finishes up by saying, it will be possible to remove members and change authority levels even if the free company members are not logged in. We are also looking into a feature where leadership will be passed to another member of the free company if the leader does not log in for a certain period of time. So that's pretty cool. Now, to go into a little bit of history into 14 about link shells. Where do I start? Alright, so anyone that's played this game with me, I don't even have to explain this to them. They already know off the bat how much link shells sucked major donkey dick in 14. And you're probably saying to yourself, why'd they suck? They worked fine. Well, here's the problem. They didn't work fine. The problem with the link shells in 14 is that, yeah, you could add people, but, like, you had a fucking... First of all, you couldn't kick people out of the link shell unless they were right next to you. So you had to find the person in order to kick them, and you had to be, like, in a certain range. Because if you were in a different city or region, that person could basically stay in your link shell, and you could fucking troll them. Another thing, when the game first launched, everyone was creating link shells left and right, like they were fucking, you know, starting forum topics or some shit. And there was, like, all these people that created them, invited a fuck ton of people that, you know, eventually stayed with the community and didn't leave. And then the link shell members were nowhere to be seen again. You know, some of them would come on every, like, month or so when there was an update. Aside from that, they fucking left the game. So you had a link shell that had no fucking leader. You had no management. The people that did have leadership that was granted to them is, like, you know, below the creator of the link shell. They could just basically add people. I think they could kick people. I don't even remember, but it was fucking... It was bad. So that's why they said, in the bottom post, or the bottom sentence in Okipuit's post, is if he's not present for a certain number of days or months or weeks or whatever the hell it is, maybe you can set it customly to how you want it, kind of like on a PC spec, where if the guy's absent for like 20 days or a month, leadership automatically gets passed to so-and-so or whatever. That's actually a really good fucking idea, because God forbid the guy's PC fucking blows up or something, or the guy gets killed or something in a freaking car accident, or the guy just decides to stop playing the game because he hates it or whatever, or just doesn't have the money. There's a failsafe in case that kind of situation happens. Or if there's like drama in the fucking link shell and the guy leaves or something, that stuff's in place for those type of situations. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that sucked ass about link shells is that there was like fucking, there was no greeting message. And I remember in 11, which I wasn't very involved with the game too much. I played it more casually, like with my friends and cousins. But from what I remember, there was like greeting message in 11 where if you sign on, or every so often, you would see like a thing that would pop up that your link shell leader or leaders custom typed in. So it's like, good morning, or hello, link shell members, this is our plans for today, and blah blah blah. And they had all this cool shit you could type in when you sign into the game for your link shell to pop up and greet you with. And it was really cool. 14 never had that. So with all the events we had going, we had to use third-party sites on the computer to communicate. Like Guildworks is the main one. There was a couple others. I forget the names of them, but various link shells used several sites, but mostly it was like on Guildworks. And they're basically saying all that and more is going to be in the free companies. It's not going to be in the link shells. The link shells are more like social chat rooms for friends and more of like casual stuff. The free companies are the big boys. They're the ones that get all the stuff I just told you guys about. All the stuff that people were bitching and asking for, which rightfully they did. You know, they should have been complaining about, because that stuff really needed to be in the fucking game, along with a lot of other things that never ended up being in. So it's nice to hear that we're finally getting that. And they said there's a bunch of other stuff too, but it's just not in this post. So, whew, that was a lot to talk about in that post alone. So if you guys are interested in more link shell chat and stuff on the topic, I'm going to link this post too, and you can head over here and voice your opinions on here and sound off, or check out what people have to say. So there's a lot of arguments, debates, and varied opinions on here, so it's very mixed, and it's good to have mixing opinions because it's a lot of variety to read about. So you can check that out. Now this is the last post we have for today before we wrap this video up, and I know it's getting kind of long for you guys, so I'll try not to ramble on for too much longer, because I know some people don't like that. But anyway, Rakiri says, and this is the blog, or not blog, this is the forum post for the Realm Reborn opening movie that just launched. So this one's actually kind of interesting. I'll read it off real quick before I explain it. So HRDNDV, kind of a retarded fucking name, but whatever. I won't judge. They say, I sort of agree. A movie introduction to a game never explains stuff. It is just like a movie preview. It just presents a hodgepodge of scenes so you can glimpse the general situation and type of plot. The first old part doesn't mean anything to a new player because it happened long ago. The second part hits me as a chocobo racing. It is not a very good intro for newbies. I would at least have voiceover saying, with the destruction of Old Eorzea, new evil arises. Excuse me. When Odin appears in the black armor, then, when the new heroes appear to save Eorzea from this new menace, the divines call for a new brand of heroes to save the day. I'm not saying I don't like the new footage. I love it. It is amazing. It just doesn't introduce a Realm Reborn very well. And they actually bring up a really good point. I actually agree with them on that fully. I love the fucking trailer. I think it's freaking awesome. But I do agree that for some people it's self-explanatory, but for a lot of other people out there, they're going to have a hard time figuring out like what's going on exactly, like who the characters are, what's the plot, what's the what's the backstory, all that. So I think a voiceover would help. So Rikiri jumps in and says, since new players stepping into a Eorzea for the first time won't exactly understand the meaning behind the opening movie that we recently released, we will be preparing a slightly different version to be included as the official intro to the game. So it's kind of vague, but it does hint and lets you know that there will be something different, slightly or more so, however more you want to interpret it, than what you watched on the previous video that I linked to on what they recently released. Okay, so that wraps up this entirety of this episode. I can't think of anything else to mention aside from they updated the main page. So you see over here on the left side, they have the bear witness to the dawn of a new age. That's brand new, that little button, they added that. And then this little thing that says now recruiting beta testers, that's brand new, that wasn't there before. And those are the only new additions, so everything else is the same. They just slightly updated the lodestone front page. But that's going to wrap up this episode. I'm sorry this was a little bit of a long one again. I know you guys don't want to sit here all day and listen to me ramble on, or maybe some of you do. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this, you found this informative, and you're that one step closer to knowing more about A Realm Reborn because of this video. So hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.